If you're a Taylor Swift fan, I have some unfortunate news for you. So, all of this relates to Taylor Swift's new album, Life of a Showgirl. It just released, and on its release, it already received mixed reviews. And I want to add, before all the Swifties come for me, I myself love Taylor's music. I don't know much about her as a person. I don't really follow the lore, but I do enjoy her songs when I hear it. But if you do look at the articles posted online that have rated her album, the reviews are quite mixed. The Guardian gave it a 2 out of 5. Rolling Stones gave it a 5 out of 5. And other publications were kind of somewhere in the middle. And there's also a Reddit thread as well in r/popheads where the commenters kind of felt in the same breath a bit mixed on their feelings on the new album. So, some commenters are saying that half the songs are great and the other half aren't hitting. Other commenters were saying that the album wasn't great, but people are making it seem way worse than it actually is. And other people are massive fans of the album, and they absolutely love it. Now, what we're talking about here, if you guys know this channel, not about the music itself, but about the art involved with the music. So every time artists release new albums, a lot of times there's some promotional event, a situation, etc. happening, and this is no different. There was media promo for this new album. Essentially, people were referring to it as the Orange Door promo. What it is basically massive orange doors with QR codes started cropping up in major cities around the world. And people were noticing. It first started with Berlin and London, and overall involved 12 different cities. And the whole concept was that this was going to be a scavenger hunt, where you scan the QR code, and the QR code leads to 12 different YouTube shorts. Now, within the YouTube shorts, you need to watch the video because there's going to be a secret letter hidden in there. And when you find the letter and you combine all 12, it will combine together to spell a message that will unlock a secret final video. And you guys might already know where this is going. So here is an image of all the doors. We have Berlin, Barcelona, Milan, Paris, London, Melbourne, Santa Monica, New York, Nashville, Chicago, Beverly Grove, and Las Vegas. But we're gonna go and talk about the videos themselves. Now, not all the videos are available anymore, but let's take a look at Barcelona's video. And this is posted to Taylor's YouTube channel on October 3rd. Now, if you look closely at the video, it's unfortunately looking like AI. If you look at the treadmill and you look closely at the treadmill, everything is 12, 12, 12, and this is in reference to Taylor's lore. Some of the words aren't words. You know, we have time, and then what looks to be another word that's completely like mushed together. Then we have distance and speed. And then there's a bunch of buttons on the bottom. And besides one that besides one button that kind of looks like start, every other button is like a various level of a warped circle with even more warped text in between. And in the comments, people are a bit confused. We have people writing, wait, what? How did Mount Fuji turn into Barcelona? As a Japanese person, I seriously can't let this slide. Other people have spotted the letters in the video. So it spells out U-Y-O-U. Now let's take a look at the Paris video. This one features a walkthrough of a park with a bunch of flowers and a bunch of animals like butterflies, birds, snakes. And if you pause at like any frame, it's again looking very AI. We have hydrangeas in the background, except the one under the little water fountain is like melting. The snake's movement is also very slippery, but not in like a snake way, in like a this looks wrong type of way. And the squirrel is the one that people kept screenshotting. Just look at the way the squirrel moves. Like, we have still frames where the squirrel's hands just disappear. Or like front arms, front legs. Like, where did it go? And then it reappears again in the next step. And the commenters are feeling the same way. A commenter says, I know people are saying it can be computer animation, but it honestly looks a lot like AI, which is very disappointing to be honest. Also, one of the things that usually gives it away is inconsistencies, and in my opinion, an artist wouldn't have changed the honey font between frames. This is in reference to a birdhouse with a little sign hanging below it that says honey, and it swaps from like a very kind of like cursive-y, flowy font, and in like the next frame over, it becomes a very, very like standard sans serif font with like a slightly tilted Y. Honestly, the O looks more like an A. Like, it looks more like Haney or Haney than honey. So, like I said, the videos are now down, but they're still screenshots. So with the London one, where there is this Ferris wheel that is featured, and again, a lot of people were citing this Ferris wheel as something looking very AI-esque. And here we have another video, and I'm not sure which city this one was from, but just another example video of one of the videos that were posted, just so we can get more of a reference as to, oh, is this AI? Is it not potentially? Is it CGI? And everyone's just falsely accusing Taylor and her team of using AI. I think the discrepancy is interesting. In the fireplace, the heart is tilted in one way, and then the frame cuts, and then it tilts the heart back in the other way. It could have been an artistic choice to make it more visible. Could also be AI. This still frame, to me, is just a little bit interesting. And now I'm definitely being a little nitpicky here, but the architecture doesn't make sense. So it's tilted up at the ceiling, and the ceiling has a hashed roof. So there is some sort of like wooden triangular frame that is happening in the hatching, except the pillars don't match up. Like, this wood beams here should form an even triangle. And this middle support beam that cuts the triangle into two halves, right, two smaller triangles, should meet at the intersection of these two legs of the wooden beam, right? Isn't that just how the perspective would work? But it just isn't like that. And then in the intersection between the two triangular beams, there is a light fixture that hangs down with a hanging lamp in some sort of like iron fixture. And at this perspective, at this angle, the way it looks like the iron fixture would hit this wooden beam on the bottom. Just the whole arrangement here, one, just doesn't have like architectural structure. I feel like a human artist would realize like, wait a second here, you know, like if this was a 3D model that was then like, you know, animated to make this video, right? You would clock that immediately because none of your lines would line up properly in your 3D model, and you're like, oh, I gotta move the beam a little bit. So it's looking a little off there too. And in the comments of this thread, which was posted by the Pop Gossip, people are sniffing out the videos as well. A commenter writes, so just out of curiosity, what about this video is giving away the fact that it's AI? Or is this just a really good 3D render done by somebody who makes game cutscenes? Other people are saying a literal billionaire, and instead of hiring an artist to create this video, they used AI slop. Thanks, I hate it. Other people are saying, I'm pretty sure she has the money and resources to not be using AI. And in this other thread written by the Taylor Explainer writes, there are a bunch of people realizing that the global word search videos were created using AI. Taylor partnered with Google and YouTube. Presumably, this partnership included the development of the videos. I am certain Google used their Gemini AI technology to create the videos and showcase the abilities the software has. I've included a couple screenshots with more obvious examples of the garbled letters that are typical AI giveaway. However you feel about this is valid. So here we have another screenshot of what looks like a box of cinnamon on a counter. There are two letters missing from the word cinnamon, which could be because of the word search. But then you look on the box and the rest of the words on the box are just garbled letters. Also, the cinnamon look like a bunch of like wafer biscuits and not actual cinnamon sticks. And then another close-up of what looks like editing or like recording software. And again, a bunch of garbled letters. And another commenter adds, I understood the why being a Gemini promo, but as an artist who screams about ownership of work, this was one of those partnerships you should have declined. And OP agrees. Sergi Vap writes, guys, don't we want to address the fact that Taylor used AI in her art? 12 videos. And by address, I mean call her out. Why? AI graphic generators are based on real people's work, except they don't get credit for it. This contradicts Taylor's values. Because again, Taylor historically has been very like gung-ho about copyright, which, as artists, you're valid to like fight for your work and the identity of your work to a very, very reasonable degree. AI is theft of art. Music is art. So there's that. OP continues, she's a successful billionaire with all the resources to hire an artist, but she chose speed and cheapness over promised detail. And here we have more close-ups, screenshots of the videos, where this is a notebook where one of the letters, the S, is circled. And it's like a bunch of letters written out, right? Except a fifth of these are not legitimate letters. There is a G with a tail. There is an R with a tail. You could argue this is a funny way to write an R. There's a J and I together. Another J and I. and then a K, but like the bottom of the K is connecting. Also, none of the G's are written the same way, and there's a U that looks more like a Q with an open top. Another screenshot of a notebook on a table, which says like wish list, with the money symbol in place of the S, and this is to be referencing, from my knowledge, her album. It's again looking very warped and very garbled. And I also do want to point out the irony of using AI in such a situation, because it's actually confusing your audience. Here's an example of a Swiftie in the comment section of one of the videos that I showed you, basically trying to brainstorm together with the commenters as to what the letters could be, but they got confused because the AI looks like a letter. In the treadmill here, there's like an orange tag, and typically like that tag on a treadmill, you like clip it to yourself, and then, if you run or if you fall off or whatever, it pulls out of the treadmill and it'll make the treadmill automatically stop. But because in my theory that these videos are AI generated, from one frame to another, the orange stop doesn't look the same. On this frame, the orange stop here looks like a plug, and then on this frame, it looks like it's shaped like a Y. So because AI is like garbling up the videos, it's actually confusing people into not actually guessing correctly. So overall, people are very 50-50 about this, because personally, do I think Taylor went into Gemini AI herself and generated these videos? No, she doesn't have time for this, I'm pretty sure. Now, how much does Taylor know about the actual AI usage in the video? Was it a situation where she was like, I have this great idea, guys, I want to or I don't know, Google reached out to her and was like, let's partner together. And she's like, I have this great idea for a promo. Let's do 12 orange doors with QR codes. You guys make the videos. And she just didn't know that AI was used in the process. That could be possible. Then you could make the argument, okay, but like as an artist, wouldn't you want some more line of sight into the work that's being produced under your name, posted on your channel? You could argue that. But again, like, we will never know how much involvement Taylor had in the production of the AI videos, if it is allegedly AI, unless she comes out and makes a statement. I guess the desired end result happened, which was more media around the new album, because there is a lot of media around the new album now. And the final conclusion is the videos are down. So there's that. But I'm curious about your thoughts. Are you a Swiftie? Do you like her new album? Do you not? Do you think the video is AI? Do you think the videos are not? I would love to hear your thoughts down below with respect. And if you like this video, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Don't forget to check me out on Etsy. I have digital art there for streamers and creators. I also have a coffee with free resources like a free sponsorship guide. And I stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST when I'm not on vacation in Japan. So I'll hopefully catch you guys there or in another video. Peace.